and Australasia. Vianna Cross lost his favouritism for the Melbourne Cup yesterday when he was beaten into third placing at New Plymouth. We will go to that race in a moment. Firstly, welcome to Keith Hillier. Keith, you were at Moonee Valley yesterday. You saw a horse who is very impressive naturalism and arguably favourite for the Cox Plate at this early stage.
He probably is nominal favourite for the track championship, but a track that he's best at, Bruce. He's had 4 starts there, naturalism, for 3 wins. Yesterday's was his easiest. He absolutely thrashed his rivals, a very impressive win. Incidentally, Greg Childs took a tumble at the meeting earlier in the card. He's battered and bruised this morning, but he will be fit to ride, to have his first ride on Let's Elope at Caulfield next Thursday, Victoria Show Day.
Well, Keith, the extraordinary thing that happened yesterday in Sydney was that a horse who had his first start on July the 29th could beat 2 horses who, between them, have won $9 million in prize money. They're the greatest prize money winners in the history of racing here. Max Presnell was there. Muirfield Village. Max, have we seen something quite special here?
Oh, we've seen a very good horse, Bruce, a very promising horse, but we also saw a great horse in defeat, Superimpose. He was magnificent. I'm not taking anything away from the winner because he too is courageous. Muirfield Village is going on to the Spring Champion Stakes. He'll have plenty of opposition there, namely from a horse called Coronation Day. He is then going down to Melbourne, of course, for the Caulfield Guineas, and the current plan is for him to take on the Cox Plate 2 and clash with Naturalism.
Well, we'll talk about that a little later, and we'll have a look at the head-on where there was a protest yesterday. But let's go to New Plymouth in New Zealand. 2,000-metre weight for age race. Vianna Cross and Royal Magic, 2 of the hot pots for the Cups engaged. Lycra, a mare that we've seen here race in Australia, falls shortly after the start, and a horse called Conan absolutely trots home.
Darko just over a length on Conan, travelling nicely. Vianna Cross on the inside. One's gone! Lycra! Lycra went down at that point. She's out of the race. A bit of a sensation after the 1,000 metres. She's up and OK. Brendan Sargent's taken a bit of a knock, though. So we're down to 7. 800 metres to travel, and Starcord a length. Conan, Vianna Cross right there. Our High Noon the outside, and then Royal Magic, Chatty Hawk, and High Easter Jets off and around them, and there's only 4 lengths covering them as they work across the top. 600 metres to travel, and Conan and Greg Caird have gone clear. 4 lengths Vianna Cross. Then 2 lengths Royal Magic trying to run on. Our High Noon, Chatty Hawk, Starcord and High Easter Jets. But this brave South Islander swings the corner with a nice break. 350 metres to go, and Conan's about 7 lengths clear on Vianna Cross. Royal Magic out in the centre. Down to the 200 metres. They won't get to Conan. He's getting further in front. A good 10 lengths on Royal Magic, fighting out second with Vianna Cross, but he's going to be too good, Conan. And Conan has absolutely slayed them. Will win the Masons easily by 7 lengths. Royal Magic has run second. Vianna Cross was third.
Well, I think the thing we should gauge from that is maybe not Conan so much. He has won his last 3, but he's not a major contender here. But the fact that Royal Magic had won first up at Ellerslie and Vianna Cross at Wanganui, and that Royal Magic yesterday could beat Vianna Cross at weight for age. Had they been first and second, it would have been a major story.
Yes, connections of Vianna Cross said after the race that the track was too heavy. He's not a winter track horse, Bruce. Look, I think you should take as much notice of that result as you should have been counting sheep instead of watching it.
There were a few out there, weren't there?
Yes, he was Conan the Destroyer yesterday, but he's been around for a long time. He's only an average horse, and that form will prove pretty insignificant.
OK, Max, he's lost his favouritism for the Melbourne Cup after that, Vianna Cross. Do you think bookmakers have reacted too sharply? Do you think Keith's right for once?
I would say so, Bruce. Second up after a spell on ground that didn't suit him. I can't say he went to the line in a manner that would suggest he's entitled to Melbourne Cup favouritism, but I'm certainly not going to wipe him yet. He will do better on a better track, but whether he can do good enough to trouble Naturalism, well, I still think that's questionable.
I was interested in your point on Superimpose a moment ago, and he's been a magnificent horse. He's been a horse who's been beaten a number of times as favourite. And I remember you were critical of him in one aspect not all that long ago, Max, in the autumn. Why do you think he was quite magnificent yesterday? To me, he got there and he was going to win and couldn't.
He's a great horse, Bruce. Like, I have been critical of him, and perhaps that's a failing with me. But he ran up to win. He's an 8-year-old. He gave his best. He was giving a good horse something like 11 kilos. He has this habit of ducking in. I don't want to be critical of Chris Munson. I'm not going to be critical of Chris Munson. He beat himself, but it was a great run. He ran up. It was on a track that favoured front runners. He was up against a horse that could well be outstanding. It was a great, that's all I can say, it's a great run. I'm not going to bag Superimpose today. He's a great horse. He's a very competitive horse. He might even be an Epsom horse.
Max Bruce has a long memory, but I was a little more intrigued with your not giving credit where credit I thought was due to the 3-year-old. As Bruce mentioned, 9 million in stakes between the top two. Muirfield Village hadn't even won the small change beyond that yesterday. Gee, I thought it was a fantastic performance.
It certainly was. It took a fantastic performance to beat Superimpose. And I think that's the key word. It took a fantastic performance. He's a very promising 3-year-old Muirfield Village, and there's the old boy giving his all. And if he hadn't ducked in with 20 metres to go, he would have won.
OK, let's have a look at the race and then we'll go straight into the replay of the head-on, because there was a protest. Here's Muirfield Village with Superimpose, and much better loosen up. He's a pretty good run, third.
500 out, Lord Revener is joined by Play or Pay. Muirfield Village on the outside is under heavy pressure, turning the corner, followed by Sade, and Superimpose is now pulled out into the clear by Chris Muntz, and the big horse is starting to wind up in the straight. 300 out, Play or Pay, tackled by Muirfield Village, who hits the front coming to the 200, but here comes Superimpose down the outside, is coming after the 3-year-old. Muirfield Village is tackled by the big red horse. Superimpose on the outside grabs the lead from Muirfield Village. Go Super. Oh, it's tight. Muirfield Village has kicked again. Muirfield Village kicked again. He might have worried Super out of it. There's very little in it.
And here is the head-on, Max, and there was a protest by Superimpose's jockey against Muirfield Village, and they do come very close together.
Yes, you'll note Muirfield Village and the Kingston Town colours start to drift out at this stage. He's drifting out, and you'll see Superimpose coming in. Note the whip arm there of Muntz had to stop riding right on the post, well, just before the post, and that's what cost him the race. But nevertheless, put it this way, Muirfield Village did put him under considerable pressure, and it was a great race. The 3-year-old proved too good on the day.
Yes, I think it was the outstanding event in Australia, without doubt, yesterday. Burst won yesterday against Skating, a tremendous contest. Max's comments on these two fillies after this.
You could throw a tablecloth over the 6 runners going around the top turn, and with 700 to go, Skating led over Burst. Mahia striding along 3 deep, and Classy Lucy is going up 4 wide as they come to the turn, and now it's on in earnest as they come to the corner, followed by Rambunctious and Diamond Capri. Into the straight, Skating just led Burst on the outside. Mahia 3 deep is balanced up by Quinton as they turn for home. She lost a little bit of ground on the corner, however. Burst and Skating fighting it out at the 200 mark, and they've come right away from Mahia, followed by Diamond Capri. Skating on the inside, Burst on the outer. They're 4 in front of Mahia. Burst and Skating having a titanic tussle in the T-Rose Stakes. Burst has the head in front, and Burst fell in to beat Skating about a long head. 5 lengths away, third Mahia.
Well, Max, there's obviously very little between them. It's terrific to see Burst back winning, but she still lacks a little bit of the sparkle she showed as a 2-year-old.
A little bit of the superiority, Bruce, that she had over the other 2-year-olds. Now, she was ridden correctly yesterday, up on the pace. She couldn't have given Skating a start and won. Shane Dye went out. He'd been roundly hooted for his performance on Slight Chance earlier. There was great division, shall we say, between the connections of Burst and Shane before he went out there. One of the part owners, Jack Ingham, I heard him say, ride him that way and I'll cop the blast. He made, well, ride her that way and I'll cop the blast. Jack wanted Burst ridden up there. Shane went along with these instructions and won the day. Burst could not have given Skating a start and beat her, could not have travelled wide and beat her. It was a brilliant section. As it turned out on Burst, Shane Dye rode a brilliant race. Again, she hasn't got anything on Skating. I don't think she's got anything on Slight Chance.
No, well, let's have a look at Slight Chance, who was, when we first looked at it, a bit disappointing yesterday in the 1200 metre race. Facile winning here.
500 out, Flitter just led Ken Fair. Monsieur third, Facile fourth. Slight Chances next with Dye waiting to go, followed by Constellion, who made the bend badly, lost his legs on the corner. And then Jewel of Africa and Raising Kentucky straightening up. And there's Dye sitting pretty on Slight Chance. He hasn't gone for the filly yet. Ken Fair just led Flitter. Facile putting in a dash, and now Slight Chance about a length away. She wanted to run about a bit under pressure. The leaders have got away from her. Facile has drawn clear 100 out from Flitter. Slight Chance is boring off the track, and Facile wins the Heritage over Flitter. Now third, Monsieur or Slight Chance, who finished almost on the Equitrack.
Well, Max, we'll go to Moonee Valley with Naturalism, but just a very brief comment on Slight Chance there.
An outstanding performance, ran home faster section than Burst. Slight Chance, very much a horse to follow. Shane Dye criticised by punters for the ride. Don't know what else he could have done, but nevertheless, don't take anything away from Slight Chance.
Well, Mick Dittman came to Victoria yesterday, Keith, and he rode a very good horse, Naturalism, who's got a particularly outstanding record at Moonee Valley.
Yes, Naturalism far too good for his rivals. He's now on course for the Cox Plate. Don't touch him at this stage in Caulfield Cup legs of your doubles, because I don't think he'll run. But he may run in the Melbourne Cup, but only if he misses an invite for the Japan Cup.
He's favourite now for the Melbourne Cup after yesterday.
Yeah, he's probably a worthy favourite too. He's doing more at this stage than any other rival, Bruce.
Well, he and Star of the Realm, I mean, they were 3-year-old combatants, protagonists, and they're going to be certainly 4-year-olds, as we've already seen. Let's have a look at this very easy win yesterday. And admittedly, the class wasn't all that strong behind him, but he won like a very good horse.
Ramiara half-length, Naturalism on the outside, close handy, just behind them, My Brilliant Star. Then came Belle Devo, further back in the field, Acushla Marie on the inside of Mr. Eurostar, and pulled wide there is Valdanoa, and Alpha Bell still last of all as they come up the school side with about 500 metres left to travel. Ramiara by a neck on Naturalism, looks to be going pretty well. The favourite over on the inside is My Brilliant Star running on. Back behind them, Belle Devo, followed by Mr. Eurostar, Acushla Marie. Valdano second last, Alpha Bell last as they round the home turn. Naturalism racing up on the outside. Looks to be going very well. Naturalism almost level with Ramiara as they make the turn. They've got away by 2 lengths to My Brilliant Star, followed by Belle Devo, and hard ridden next is Mr. Eurostar. But Naturalism has cruised away at the top of the straight. It's well clear by 3 lengths to Ramiara, running on My Brilliant Star, and then Belle Devo, but it's all over. This will bolt in a very good horse, Naturalism. And coming down to the line to win, Untroubled. Naturalism's won it. Getting up for second. Oh, very tight. Give it to My Brilliant Star, and nose to Ramiara.
Well, he was compared with Superimposed yesterday. In fact, Lee Friedman's already saying he's superior at weight for age, and he's close to being the best horse he's ever trained.
Last season, there just seemed to be a small chink in his armour, ever so small, because he was runner-up in several of the big ones. He seems to have shed that now, Bruce.
Yes, and Clocker yesterday winning the big 3-year-old fillies race. This will be interesting for you, Max, because she's been beaten at the last couple of goes by Skating, Slight Chance, and also Burst. So, and she started 7-4 favourite. So I have to concede that the fillies in Sydney are much stronger than those in Victoria after yesterday.
Yes, Bruce, no doubt about that. But one thing that Clocker has over Burst and Slight Chance, she has shown she can handle Melbourne. That has been a bogey that's come across plenty of 3-year-olds going down from here in the past.
What did you think of her yesterday, Keith?
It was a very good performance, a very good ride too by Greg Hall. John Morris, the trainer of Clocker, hasn't won a Group 1 race as yet. This might be the filly to do it for him.
Yes, it was worth a lot of money yesterday, Group 2, the Laurent Perrier. Here's the 7-4 favourite, Clocker.
800 metres left to go, and Solution takes the lead by a neck on Loving Cup, a length to Minsky Lass, close in behind them Clocker. They were followed by Forever Ingenue, and making ground out wider on the track is Snippet's Girl. Further back in the field came Snippety, being followed closely by Sparky Miss, Crazy No Ambala. Credit Account well back without Tristolite, a long gap to Strike Me Blushing, and Kingston Spirit up near the home turn, 400 a run. Minsky Lass has got a glorious run on the inside to go up and take the lead with Solution. Loving Cup just behind them, followed by Clocker, pulled out to make a run. She's coming home fairly well, but under some pressure, and they're followed next then by Snippet's Girl as they straighten up again. Solution's got a head in front of Minsky Lass, deeper on the track. Loving covered, Clocker down the outside. Solution is the leader. Clocker running on strongly down the outside, is coming after Solution. Clocker on the outside, looks to be going home the better. Clocker takes the lead, 100 metres left to go. Clocker's in front, she's coming away. Clocker, Strike Me Blushing, flying home. Clocker too good. Clocker's won it from Solution, tight for third. Minsky Lass or Strike Me Blushing.
Not much between a lot of them there. Our Tristolite, we've got to put a question mark on her. I remember your interview on 3 Years there with Dave O'Sullivan. He was wrapped in the horse. She showed nothing yesterday.
Yes, she'll definitely improve with that run. Don't sack her, please.
OK, Melbourne Cup at the moment. Naturalism's the new favourite in front of Viander Cross, but as Keith said, just hold your pennies at the moment. It's a bit early. Star of the Realm, Tennessee Jack, you've got to put a query on now because he's missed a couple of races. Grooming, Sub-Zero, and My Eagle Eye. Max, good punting during the week. It's another big week. You had Newcastle this week, and we'll catch up with you next Sunday.
Certainly.
Max Presnell from the Sydney Morning Herald. Keith Hillier.
Yes, show day here at Caulfield Racing. Bruce.